This is baffling to archaeologists. It's an object that they say just couldn't exist. And an object like that would probably have to be coming from some very high-tech civilization, probably extraterrestrials.
Ancient artifacts often get damaged, buried, and hard to recognize, but some can totally change how we see our place in history. Over the years, archaeologists have stumbled upon some amazing finds. A few are mysterious, old objects that they still can't fully figure out. So let's dive into these oddities that seem so out of this world, they might as well be from another planet. The Dropper Stones. Nestled high in the Bayan-Kara Ula Mountains, stretching between China and Tibet, lies an extraordinary maze of interconnected caves, the origin of which, whether crafted by humans or nature, remains a mystery. Within these caves, archaeologists in 1938 stumbled upon the remains of a peculiar hominoid species, unlike anything seen before. Initially mistaken for ape remains, it soon became clear that these creatures weren't animals. Unlike apes, these beings had buried their dead. But if not animals, what were they? These skeletons were bizarre. With spindly limbs and disproportionately large heads, they were neither completely human nor animal. Chinese archaeologist Qipu Tei and his team were baffled. As they examined the skeletons, they made an even stranger discovery: a circular stone disc, half buried in the cave floor, featuring a hole in the center and spiral grooves etched into its surface. Upon closer inspection, the grooves appeared to be some form of writing or hieroglyphs, but their meaning eluded even the most skilled ancient script experts. It took experts 2 decades to decipher the disc's inscriptions. When Dr. Tsumam Nui finally cracked the code, his findings were so astonishing that authorities suppressed the information. Further searches in the caves uncovered 716 more discs of the same type. According to Dr. Tsumam Nui's translation, these discs narrated an incredible tale of a space probe from another planet that crashed in these remote mountains. The inhabitants of the probe were from a highly advanced civilization and arrived in peace, but their existence was made difficult by taller neighbors, leading them to seek refuge on other worlds. Wedge of Aiud. Around 47 years ago, miners in Aiud, Romania, made a discovery so strange it seemed almost otherworldly. While working along the banks of the Mureș River, the crew unearthed 2 mastodon bones buried deep in the sandy soil. But what truly grabbed their attention was an even more mysterious object found over 35 feet underground. This enigmatic item, later dubbed the aluminum wedge of Aiud, or simply the object, has baffled experts ever since. What makes the Aiud wedge so perplexing is its apparent lack of age or purpose. It's hard to believe a modern object would be found alongside the bones of an animal that went extinct 11,700 years ago. Adding to the mystery, the wedge was covered in patina, a layer that takes centuries, if not millennia, to form. Despite this, the object appears to be made of aluminum, a metal not thought to exist in ancient times. In short, the timeline doesn't make sense. This clunky aluminum wedge, which seems to serve no clear purpose, has sparked numerous theories about its origin. Ideas range from alien artifacts to advanced preservation techniques, but no one has a definitive explanation. Betts Mystery Sphere. In March or April of 1974, the Betts family, parents Jerry and Antoine, and their eldest son Terry, were exploring the woods around their property on Fort George Island in Jacksonville when they stumbled upon a peculiar metallic sphere about the size of a bowling ball. Terry, a 21-year-old pre-med student, decided to take the sphere home as an interesting keepsake. The Betts family didn't think much of the orb until one day when Terry was playing his guitar nearby. The ball began to hum in response. Soon after, it exhibited other bizarre behaviors. It rolled around on its own, changed directions abruptly, and stopped suddenly. It even vibrated and emitted a high-pitched sound that caused dogs to whine and cover their ears. Dubbed the Betts Sphere, or sometimes the Mystery Sphere or Odd Ball, the object quickly drew public attention. One of the first to investigate was Ron Kivett, a local radio host known for his show on paranormal events and his work on the cult monster film Zaat. Kivett confirmed the Betts family's claims, noting the sphere's strange movements and behaviors. He, along with many others, believed the orb was of extraterrestrial origin, created by some cosmic intelligence for an unknown purpose. King Tut's dagger. When researchers first peeked into Tutankhamun's tomb in the early 1920s, they found rooms overflowing with thousands of artifacts, statues, furniture, jewels, clothing, chariots, and paintings. Among these treasures was an iron dagger, just over a foot long, crafted from a meteorite. This intriguing weapon puzzled scientists for over a century. Recent studies have shed some light on the dagger's mysterious origins, though they offer conflicting theories. One study suggests it was made in Anatolia, modern-day Turkey, while another claims its earthly origins remain a mystery. During King Tutankhamun's reign, 1333 BC to 1323 BC, iron smelting hadn't been developed yet, making iron a rare and precious material that often came from meteorites. This adds an extra layer of fascination to the story of the dagger, potentially used by the most famous ancient Egyptian pharaoh. Klerksdorp spheres. In the small town of Ottosdal, located in South Africa's northern northwest province, miners working in pyrophyllite mines stumbled upon mysterious metal spheres known as the Klerksdorp spheres. These dark, reddish-brown, slightly flattened spheres vary in size, from less than a centimeter to 10 centimeters wide. The most striking spheres appear almost manufactured, yet they date back an astonishing 3 billion years, a time when Earth was far too young to support intelligent life capable of creating such objects. These artifacts have captured the fascination and suspicion of various fringe groups, including Christian and Hindu creationists and proponents of the ancient astronaut theory. These groups argue that the spheres are out-of-place artifacts, oparts, suggesting they are direct evidence of a civilization that existed billions of years ago or before the biblical flood. Those who support the ancient astronaut theory believe these items were crafted by intelligent extraterrestrial beings. The Piri Reis map. The Piri Reis map, housed in the library of the Topkapi Palace in Istanbul, Turkey, dates back to the 16th century Ottoman Empire and was created by Admiral Piri Reis, a Turkish Navy officer. The map depicts various continents including Europe, North Africa, the Brazilian coast, and numerous islands such as Antillia, the Canary Islands, and the Azores. It even shows Antarctica, which was believed to have been discovered over 300 years later. But what makes this map truly bizarre? And where do aliens fit into this cartographic mystery? The most perplexing aspect of the Piri Reis map is not just that it challenges the timeline of many exploratory discoveries. The real enigma lies in its detailed portrayal of Antarctica's terrain without ice, something that hasn't been visible for over 6,000 years. So, how did a Turkish admiral from 500 years ago manage to map a continent that has been buried under ice for millennia? Professor Charles H. Hapgood and mathematician Richard W. Strachan studied the Piri Reis map and proposed that it was based on an aerial view. But how could that be possible in the 16th century, long before the Wright brothers' first flight, and even longer before aerial photography? This mystery suggests the influence of an extremely advanced civilization that we have yet to understand.